I'm Alex Montano from Mary. I've been a native of Colorado and a native of St. Scholastica too,
A parishioner, yeah.
of the parish. And I helped remodel the addition to the church back in the day, and did a lot of. I was in different organizations. We clean up, monthly cleanups, and different organizations that was there. So it was good. It was a good experience. Met a lot of people, a lot of new people.
And I'm Mary Montano. I'm Alex's wife, Joseph Alex Montano, his wife, and we've been married a long time. We got married at St. Scholastica in 1959, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And it was the old-fashioned, the way it was. At that time it had, St. Scholastica had communion rails, a lot of statues, beautiful statues, and it was very nice to be married in that church. I loved it, and we've been parishioners since then. I've been involved in a lot of different duties there. I was in charge of the cleaning of the church. We used to clean it once a week. I would get the different volunteers, and we'd have volunteers. That was one good thing. And after that, things changed a little as to the way they do the cleaning and so forth. I helped with religious ed, which I didn't do very much. I was a substitute teacher, so I only had to go once in a while. Thank goodness. I couldn't handle some of those kids. They were kind of rowdy. The older kids, the little ones, were precious. And what else did I do, Al? Oh, at one time, way back when, we were able to bake the bread for communion. And we had the Urban brothers were here then, and Sister Elizabeth, and she gave us the recipe, and you had to follow the recipe, and you had to have the bread in certain size loaves, and I don't know what you call it when you mark where it should be cut. That was interesting, because people wanted to put sugar, and they wanted their own recipes, but we had to follow the one that Sister gave us. And that was one of the other things we did. But there was always something to do at the church, and it was interesting. I enjoyed it. I had one of my best friends. We paired up. I did that on purpose, because we'd go after school and do the cleaning. And like he says, somebody didn't show up, he was right there helping me. And we took the equipment, if it needed work on it, we took it to wherever, down to the vacuum cleaner store, and we were always involved. I enjoyed the ladies I worked with. They were all, if I called them and asked them, could you volunteer for June or July, whatever, I don't think I ever got turned down. I don't remember. One lady says, if you can't get anybody, I'll do it. But that was the closest I came to a rejection. Oh well, the Mass was always special. Yeah.
I think Father Willett had a lot to do. I liked him the best of all.
Father Don Willett.
Yeah. and he a very good recruiter, very good, and he had a lot of motivation, and he'd get us going, and we'd get more help, and it seemed like he had that knack of getting along with people, and that's what it takes when you want volunteers. And this was a big project, and it took a long time, but we finally finished it. And we had a lot of problems here and there, but he was there he was just calm. He wouldn't, he let us take it over. We took over blueprints and everything, and he just look at them, and everything was fine with him. And he didn't cause no arguments. He just bought what we liked. He'd have suggestions. We'd kick it around the workers, and we'd go from there. And there it is. It's still there.
There was one, well, it wasn't a religious experience, but it was an experience. My friend Isabel and I were cleaning the church that day, and this gentleman that lived in the back, because at that time, well, if you can imagine, the church ended now where the altar begins, and there was a big space there between the house and the church. Okay, so in between, this gentleman lived in the house. His name was Marion Greeley, an older gentleman, and he was so nice. Anyway, one day Isabel and I were cleaning the church, and this squirrel was in there and wanted to get out. So he kept running to the windows, knocking on the windows, trying to get out. Oh my gosh. Isabel gets the broom. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm running after the squirrel. And Marion goes and he gets another broom. And so here we are trying to get the squirrel out. And somebody had the bright idea to open the door. We finally got that squirrel out of there. But he had already messed up the windows, He was frantic to get out of there. Well, Marion used to have feeders for the birds, and the squirrels were always there. So when they were working on the remodeling, I don't know, there must have been some opening, and that squirrel got in there. And we spent about a half hour running after that thing until we finally got it out of there. Oh, it was so funny. Isabel had a couple of, Pepsis or something in her bag, and she says, "Sit down, we're going to have a drink." And we did, to get rested from that running around. But that was funny, and Marion helped us. He was always helping.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the parish council also at that time, and he would make a big bowl of popcorn and take it over to us. We'd be in the hall, and he was in his house. He'd make popcorn and take it over to us. He was just a gentle person, yeah.
He was good.
So, I'm glad I got to mention him.
Oh yeah, he was good. He'd make good mixed drinks too. So, for after we'd get done a little bit, in the evening, we'd have a couple drinks, and sometimes it'd be 4 of us, sometimes 8 of us. It depended, what. Everybody was working, so you get tired, you don't feel like going. That's fine too. And one of the he was a contractor. And he had scaffolding and all that stuff to do the work. And very good. We used all this material, all his scaffolding and stuff to build it. And so we didn't have to rent it or buy it or anything. So he had all the equipment, the tools and everything that we needed. So it worked out real good where we could do saws and everything else. We had them. We were short of anything, we'd take it ourselves. Material that we had. So it worked out pretty good. And Tom was a real good worker. I really don't know whether he slept there at night sometimes. I don't know, because I wouldn't stay that late.
Mm-hmm.
But he was real. He'd get real mad, and he wanted somebody to work 8 hours. I told him, it's hard enough to get somebody just down here for 2 or 4 hours, and I told him, let's leave it alone. Let's not drag it on. It bothered him a lot. And so everybody got along real good, and finally got done. I was good. I was glad about that.
That was in when Father Don Willette was there.
Yeah.
And it was about 1980.
I think
Right
it was
around that
right
time.
around in there. Yeah.
That was the first remodel that they did, and when we were there anyway, and they connected the house or the church to the house, and got that extra rooms there. How'd they do that? I don't know.
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
Yeah,
He had a Porsche.
Father Don.
Father Don did. And he'd raffle it. We'd sell tickets, a lot of tickets from here, and Frederick, Longmont, all over. And we'd go in the bars, and everybody bought the tickets, Well, so the guys that won it, somebody win it, and they'd have it for a while, and Father Don would say, "How's the car?" And he'd get the Porsche back. So he'd go. We're gonna have another raffle. Okay, raffle that.
Well, he took it with him to Louisville when he went.
Yeah, and even then,
Yeah.
he still had it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times he raffled that car. It was a nice car. And he even took it when they moved out. When he moved from here, he didn't want to go. No, he didn't. But he went up there to Louisville and did the same thing. I don't know how many times that car was raffled. It was quite a thing, to see that happening, Say, well, somebody, well, heck, I'm not going to get rid of that car, but they would. They'd get it, redo it.
But working like cleaning the church when it's empty and it's quiet, it's nice.
You really feel Jesus'
Yeah.
presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time you look back, a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of time because all of us were working. And, it's hard to get volunteers anyway, I think. And we had a heck of a time getting it going and finishing it.
And there was one gentleman, we don't know for sure, and he's gone now. The ceiling, the pretty ceiling.
A contractor.
It was just in the church part of it, not in where the altar is and that. And somebody paid to have that material brought in, and they put it up there also. I never knew who did it. I never knew who paid for it. I thought maybe Father Don did, maybe this gentleman, Dave Stone, might have, because he was really involved. And Dave was really involved in, we put out a little booklet for the anniversary of St. Scholastica, the 100th. And he was really involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
I was on that committee, but I didn't go to Denver. He would take off and go to where he got all this stuff. I guess the Archdiocese has libraries and places where you can find information. But he would go down there, he and somebody else, and they'd come back with all this information. he was really instrumental in getting that little booklet out. So thanks to Dave Stone, he's not any longer with us.
He was one of them that go to the town hall too to get blueprints accepted and everything for the job, you know, when we was remodeling that.
Yeah.
He was good.
So
We had a lot of good people there.
still do, I'm sure. But I sure didn't like that COVID.
I went once since I was a little guy. I'd go to church once when I was going once in a while. Not too much when I was younger. You know, when I was
Small.
yeah.
Yeah.
They had some problems there, you know, for a while, and then Mom wouldn't let us go, and then the priest came down, and one of the priests came down, and they talked things over, and so we went back. I don't think it was because we was naughty, because it was just it was just
I bet it was.
it was I think it was other problems, you know, and because so everything was taken care of, and then we started going back, you know.
I don't know. We've had some really great priests, and we stayed here. Some people, they didn't like this priest or that priest, and they'd take off and go to. Mostly they'd go to Lafayette, because at one time we were a mission church of Lafayette, and then they changed that, and then we were a mission church of Frederick, and now we're our own.
Well, yeah, they had trouble. Well, they changed it to that Latin. I don't know what part of the church they changed to the Latin, and some people didn't like that. I particularly liked it because I didn't understand what they were saying in the first place, you know. So I liked it because it changed. So, but some people would get mad about that, and well, you know, it didn't appeal to them. So you know, they'd go where they would have it, and some places would have it. I don't know where, or other things, you know, with maybe they didn't agree with the priest about saying something, and you have that too. And you have other things too. We had our good friends. They say our job, our children just graduated, and that's our job. I wanted to see that, and I've seen it, and that's it. And they didn't go back to church.
Oh.
They did what they wanted to do, and so, you know, different strokes for different folks, that's it.
That still happens now.
Yeah, it still probably still happens now.
Well, anything else you can think of you'd want to add to your
No.
story? Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's good enough?